Hello, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name's Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona, and hopefully today with our bets and your bets, it's going to be another profitable day for you. Thursday, July 3rd, as we're in this July 4th week here. We've got day baseball going on. We got 10 total games for you on this Thursday here in Major League Baseball. What an exciting Wednesday with all the additional games because of the double headers. Man, crazy stuff. We had a really good day. We're still waiting on this Dodgers result as we're recording this about halfway through, but morning was good, evening good. We're rocking and rolling here, so just need the Dodgers to finish this off. And Kershaw's struggling to get to 3,000. Hopefully he can get that before we get to the end of the episode here, but let's get started. First of all, you're new to our show, welcome. Secondly, we do fade or follow 4 teams, Dodgers, Cubs, Royals, and Orioles. That's where we play our plays. For the most part, we will give you plays throughout the lineup as well for you guys in order to play a lot of things. I will give you a forewarning here. The first couple of games out of the day for day baseball, there's 2 of them on this Thursday. They're not the easiest 2 games on earth, right? So just keep that in mind. I mean, we do like the Astros, which we'll go over here in the second game, but this Twins-Marlins game to start off the game, start this thing off. Disappointed that the Marlins only come up with 1 run against Woods Richardson. Normally one of the hitters in the pitchers in Major League Baseball you can tee off on. A little disappointed by what they did. Junk pitched a great game, gave up a couple runs, did not deserve the loss. That was all on the Marlins offense, not figuring out how to get some runs home. That's what's with, and Stowers in that game has a home run and a hit. There's no reason that the Marlins shouldn't have scored a minimum of 3, if not 5 in that game. But very disappointing effort there by the Marlins offense. And that's who we get started with on this Thursday, July 3rd, 12:10 Eastern Time. Yuli Perez, David Festa in this one. I don't really care for a side much. I'd probably still lean to Miami being at home here in this one. There should be some runs scored at some point in this frickin' series. Festa, not normally the best pitcher on earth either. The Marlins should be able to figure out how to score a few runs here. I know if you were on the Marlins yesterday, it makes it a little tough, but kind of is what it is, right? You're getting plus money here on the money line. Do like them plus 1.5. Hopefully you got the Marlins plus 1.5 and plus 0.5 in the first 5. You definitely made some dollars on Wednesday. But this Thursday, Marlins plus 0.5 front 5. Marlins plus 1.5 for the game. Also sprinkle a little bit on the Marlins. Expect some runs. Might not play it as heavily as I would play the Marlins plus 0.5 and 1.5, but over 8.5, I think definitely got some possibilities here as well. Next game up, 3:10 Eastern Time. Rockies in the Astros. So the Astros close that game out 5-3 with Hunter Brown on the mound. Hunter Brown gets 7 Ks or 8 Ks. So 7. He hit 7 and 8 for us. Didn't clip the 9. Great day. Hunter give up 2 runs. So, and the Stros offense really wasn't clicking that well as well. They left a lot of runners on base. They couldn't put the ball over the wall when need to. And normally in Colorado, you got to hit the home run ball. Total of 11. They really, they hit 6-5 the first game and 5-3, which, so 11 might be a little bit much here. And I like Walter as a pitcher for the Stros as well against Freeland. Stros aren't tearing the cover off the ball. So under 5.5 first 5. Under 11 for the game. Houston, money line. If you want to play a little bit, run line's a decent possibility there too at minus 1.5. All right, now we get into the night games. We got 8 of them. This is where I think the majority of your action should be if you're playing. But we're getting started actually with a tough one here. The Tigers and Ends they picked up off the scrap heap for the Tigers did. Another bullpen game the way it looks, or an opener game against Jake Irvin. Jake Irvin's been all right. Nationals. So everybody, the Nationals come out in game 2. They take an early lead against Flaherty, which Flaherty struggled. So everybody's happy. Then all of a sudden the Nationals bullpen gives up some runs, and everybody thinks the Nationals sold, which I can't stand that word. And then guess what? The Nationals put up a buttload of runs more late, win that game by scoring 9 there. It's a baseball game. A lot of times there's back and forth. Sometimes it's not just easy. We get up 4-0 and cruise, right? Tigers are an excellent team here. They're not going to quit, even though they're down in a game. They're still going to make an effort to come back. And the Nationals bullpen and the Tigers bullpen, which you both saw, have some chinks in the armor. Both of them can't get hit. So sometimes you just have to be a little bit patient rather than if everybody in baseball, if they get down a run, they think it's over. In football, if you get down a touchdown, does everybody think the game's over when you're down a touchdown? No, they come back all the time. Same thing in baseball. They come back all the time as well. So sometimes just got to sit, relax, enjoy the game a little bit. And, you know, I don't know, follow a team or some players besides all the wagering stuff, right? It's actually a lot of fun. Like a little back and forth never hurt anything, right? Nationals in this spot, they're plus money. They're at home. I think they have a pitching advantage here going against the Tigers bullpen. Slight lean to the Nats. Plus 1.5, I think, is the better play. Plus a half from 5 as well there for the Nationals. Next game up, 7:07 Eastern time, Yankees and the Blue Jays. So this game was interesting, right? Will Warren gives up 7 in the first. That was a lot of fun to watch. We told you Will Warren was due for a blow-up, and that's exactly what happened. Barrios, though, didn't do much better a few innings later, so the over got crushed in the first few innings. Yankees tie that game up. Blue Jays sneak it back, went 11-9. We almost had 3 touchdowns in that game. Clark Schmidt, Chris Bassett in this one. Bassett's got absolutely just crucified in his last few starts. Clark Schmidt has been maybe one of the more solid pitchers for the Yanks. Yes, he's not going to come out and shut you out, but a couple runs normally is what he gives up, and normally gives you 5 to 6 quality innings every start. So like the Yankees, not very much of a favorite here today, too. Like the Yanks in this spot. Yanks money line first 5 innings. Yankees over their team total. This game to go over 8.5 is a great possibility as well, because I honestly think the Yankees are getting 6 to 7 of it on that one there. And if you want to sprinkle a little bit, Yanks run line as well. Next game up, 7:10 Eastern time. Mets and the Brewers. So split a doubleheader. Mizorowski finally has a game where he comes out and be dominant. It happens, guys. The kid's 20-something years old, right? It just happens. What are you going to do? Jose Quintana, David Peterson, this one, they did get the Freddie Peralta game, split that doubleheader. All the doubleheaders yesterday were splits, even the suspended game. So a lot of splitting going on. So we got greedy, went for a couple of sweeps, but it happens, right? This game here with Peterson and the Brouhahas with Quintana. Quintana obviously being a former Met. Peterson's pitched all right for the Mets. Quintana's been good enough here for the Brewers. Total of this game's 8.5, and I think that's where we can find some values actually on the total runs in this game. Under 4.5 first 5 innings, as I don't trust either offense really to hit a left-hander too much. Under 8.5 for the game. Be careful, though. I think definitely more on the first 5 than the game, just due to the bullpens on both teams. Next game up, 7:15 Eastern time. The Braves got their okay, I know they had when you look at the scoreboard there, they went 8-3. UC was kicking their rear end, striking them out like mad crazy. UC did really well in the strikeouts for us. Didn't get to 9, but had a very good day at K-rate. Threw way too many pitches, which is normally his problem, and therefore the Angels bullpen got in too early. Bryce Elder for the Braves. Soriano, who pitches really well on the road. He's about 2 runs better on the road, ERA-wise, than he is at home. And Bryce Elder here pitching for the Braves. You know what? The Braves got very fortunate that Fuentes didn't give up more, as the Angels offense just could not seem to push the run across. When they needed a big hit, they couldn't get it in this one here. Do like the Angels with Soriano pitching here. Angels plus a half a run first 5 innings. Angels plus 1.5 on the run line. Next game up, Cade Horton. And we're getting some interesting results on here on who is actually going to be pitching for the Guardians. Thought it was supposed to be Ortiz in this one. Looks like we're getting a little bit of conflicting information there. That's all right. It doesn't really matter on what we're planning on doing anywhere. Cubs win 5-4. Should have been 5-3, but Palencia gives up a run because, God forbid he don't throw a wild pitch. Cade Horton here. Total's at 8.5. I think this thing's going to get smashed. Guardians hit 3 solo shots against Shota. I like them to hit some... I don't know about it. I like him to hit Cade Horton. Cade Horton, his last time out, got just absolutely demolished in Houston. I really like the over here. We're going to give you all those plays as well. Cubs and Guardians over 2.5 first 3 innings, 4.5 first 5 innings, 6.5 for 7, 8.5 for the game. Cubs over 8.5 team total. Guardians over 3.5 team total. And then we've got 4 hitters, same 6 picks apiece, or same 5 picks apiece. Manzardo and Santana for the Guardians. Tucker and Bush for the Cubs. Home run, double, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. 2+ total bases, 3+ total bases in that one there. Next game on the board. We got another night game. All right. All these getaway day night games. That one's at, by the way, 8:05 Eastern time. Then we move to the late games. 9:40 Eastern time. Diamondbacks and the Giants. As we're recording this one, this thing is a tight-ass game right at the moment. What is it? 3-2 Giants later in the game. And Rafael Devers continues to do absolutely nothing except strike out a couple times every game. Isn't it wonderful? I know you can't call the trade good in 10 games, but it's hilarious. Anyway, Robbie Ray here, former Diamondback, going against Brandon Pfaadt for the D-backs. This one to me is a little tough. The Giants struggle to score, but Brandon Pfaadt can definitely allow some runs. Robbie Ray is pretty damn good. He's been a little... Lately, he hasn't been as dominant as he can be, but he's been good enough. Right, to get wins or put him in positions to win. Rarely you're going to hear me say Diamondbacks in an under game, as that offense normally can cook. But do like the under here early, under 4.5 first 5. I think Brandon Pfaadt comes out, and even though he hasn't pitched tremendously over the last month and a half, the Giants can't hit. So under 8.5, under 4.5 first 5 innings, and I don't know if I could play a total on that thing pick a side. I got no clue. If a game could end in a tie, that one's pretty damn close. Next game up, 10:10 Eastern time. We've got 2 games to finish up the night. Royals and Mariners, as we're recording this, the game's tied in game 2, 1-1. Royals took the first one, and we're seeing why both offenses can't struggle in game 2, especially when Carl Riley's not in the lineup. Why he's not playing, I'm not quite sure, except unless it's just a rest day. Seth Lugo, Brian Wu. So Brian Wu at home normally has been pretty solid. Seth Lugo's always solid for the Royals. It does not change. Seth Lugo's about as consistent as it gets. He goes out there and he's going to give you 18 outs. You got to figure out how to get the lead or figure out how the last 9 outs are going to go, especially with that Royals bullpen. Totals at 7. But we think this is going to be a low-scoring game. We are going to increase that 7 to 7.5, and we're just going to take the under in this one. So Royals-Mariners under 2.5 runs first 3, under 4.5 first 5, 6.5 for 7, 7.5 for the game. Julio Rodriguez under 1.5 total bases, under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Same for Jonathan India. Royals under 3.5 team total. Mariners under 3.5 team total. Seth Lugo for 6+ Ks. Brian Wu set 18+ outs. Lugo 18+ outs. We're probably going to have a few more pitcher props there. Unfortunately, they're not out yet, but more than likely under 2.5 earned runs if the line's at 2.5 in that one there. And then the final game of the night, White Sox, Dodgers, in this madness, right? Like, who can figure this out? The White Sox score an early 4 against the Dodgers? Like, seriously? Like, what is going on there? Right? Ohtani can't seem to get a hit. I don't know. There's all kinds of craziness going on there. All kinds of crazy. Right? By the way, we told you Randy Arozarena, another home run for him as he's been smoking red hot. But another story for another day. So we get to this last game. We've got, pitching-wise, Savali for the White Sox. And then Dustin May. Dustin May's been giving up runs everywhere. I can't get behind him at almost $3 favorite over the White Sox. Can't get behind the White Sox either, but I don't know. Don't really like either of the sides there. The one number we're focused on is the total. We grabbed this thing. It's already starting to move, but we do like the total for a couple other things too. So it was at 8.5. Now it's at 9.5 at a lot of books. Dodgers White Sox over 2.5 first 3. 4.5 first 5, 6.5 front 7, 8.5 for the game. I also like it at 9.5. Dodgers over 4.5 team total. White Sox over 3.5 team total. Then we've got 4 hitters. 5 bets apiece. Once again, we've got Sosa and Tauschman for the White Sox. Ohtani, and hopefully Smith's playing because he's 2 for 2 against Savali lifetime with 2 home runs. Let's give you those 5 picks apiece. Home run, double, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, 2+ total bases, 3+ total bases. All right, we just went through a ton of bets. How do we get a chance to take a look at all those bets? No problem at all. We've got them posted in multiple spots online, TikTok and YouTube channel pages, as well at the end of every episode on YouTube. It's a link to our Google Sheets, docs.google.com/spreadsheet. Bunch of other stuff behind it. Click on the Baseball 2025 tab. Scroll all the way down to July 3rd. You'll be able to see all of our bets, what juice we got those at, how many units we wagered, and what book we placed them at as well. Also, do you like the content you're seeing here and want to see some more? We'd love to have you along for the ride. All you need to do is hit follow or subscribe, depending on the social media platform you're watching us on, and we'll show up on your follower or subscriptions tab. All right. I do appreciate everybody's support as always, and we look forward to seeing you on our next episode.